Townies.
What's going on, guys?
You doing just
I'm doing just fine. Big fans of y'all, so this is awesome. Um, let's jump right into it. Your characters they go through some intense, high stakes situations. Was there anything special you guys did to kind of prepare for these roles?
there was a lot of conversations with Cutter. I think Cutter really immersed himself into the crypto world before we started production, and so he was sort of such a great source of information. Especially, I mean, most of us didn't know, I think, uh, a whole lot about crypto, and so it was like we hit the ground running because the whole process happened pretty quickly, in terms of how it got put together, yeah. Cutter was an incredible resource.
Yeah, I mean because Eve is the one person that is, other than Hegel, is like super knowledgeable about the world and the terminology and vocabulary. So he was very helpful in terms of like documentaries, articles, subreddits, and I had to jump right into it.
Yeah, was that difficult for you guys to kind of jump into this world you guys aren't necessarily familiar with? Because there is a lot of like intricacies to this and like a lot of special words and lingo that you don't really hear every day. I mean, I know enough to do damage, but even some of the stuff discussed in this movie, I'm like, what the hell? So it was cool because even though it's not a documentary, you really do learn because you guys kicked so much ass. But was that difficult?
I mean, once I got over like that monologue with the terms and stuff,
Yeah.
that was the most probably one of the most difficult scenes because I had to like make sense of it. Um, but other than that, I felt like it made sense to the world made sense to me.
Yeah, there's definitely something about like because we did sort of hit the ground running. I come from theater and I'm used to rehearsals and like, putting on plays a way different thing than doing a film and in some ways with film it can be kind of a blessing not having too much time to think about it or overthink it, over rehearse something in your head. Like Melonie mentioned something earlier about you want to rehearse, but not too much in film because things can easily look over rehearsed. And I think we did a good amount of like hanging out and going through the scenes and working on stuff with Cutter, before we got to set. But in some ways, the stuff was very fresh and the quick the film was the shoot itself was like very down and dirty, and there was like that could be kind of a blessing in a sense.
Yeah, another blessing I thought was the chemistry, and you guys seemed to have it from beginning to end. I mean, it seemed like from the viewer's perspective, you guys knew each other for a long time. Like it seemed very real, and I think that that's one of the things that works for the film the most is that like I believed every story in this film. Was there anything that you guys did extra to kind of make that a real like that? It's wild. It felt so cool.
I have one story that comes to mind. Zoe Winters, who did such a great job on Succession, came in on the last day of the shoot to film one of the first scenes of the film, which is this kind of where Billy buys an Xbox for his daughter, and then Eileen, his ex-wife, is like, "What the hell are you doing buying an Xbox? You could be using the money for so many other things like school, like this, whatever." And it's a film, it's a scene that really establishes a lot of what motivates Billy throughout the film. But sometimes that's the way things are done in film. You'll shoot like an early scene at the end, and to Zoe's credit, she came in and just crushed it on this scene and gave it like I did like the night before. I said to Cutter, I was like, can Zoe and I can can we meet before we have to shoot this very pivotal scene? And so we had a drink that night, uh, just to get to know each other, and just because we were, we're shooting this pivotal scene that has these two characters exploring this very uh, complex shared history, and we were just going to get into the set and be shooting it, but thankfully Cutter got us all together the night before, and we at least just got to meet and get to and but I think that one scene was very emblematic of the whole shoot. It was like everyone who came to play, and Kate Geller, our casting director, did such a great job of like everyone in this cast was awesome, and yeah, it was because it all happened so fast that it was like just a testament to like the quality of the talent all across the board, I think.
Melody, do you have any similar stories or anything you want to mention or add to that?
And I mean, yeah, I think sometimes you have chemistry or you don't. And we got really lucky. Like
Yeah,
we're all just kind of like-minded people in terms of like wanting to show up and do good work and have fun.
yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention too is, this film had its premiere at South by Southwest, uh, a very prestigious festival. And, how did you guys deal with the reception? And I mean, obviously it's a long time since then, but I mean, it seems like you said, Raul, that it kind of hit the ground running and now it's kind of coming to an end. Is it bittersweet for you? And like, how does it feel to kind of, put a bow on it for both of you guys?
I don't know. There's like different lives to movies, it's like this movie will be out and 3 months, many more people will see it.
Yeah.
In a year, more people will see it. So it's like the life of a movie continues for the rest of your career and the rest of your life. So I don't feel like it's like the end, but I'm just happy that like people actually get to see it. Um, and more so like I was thinking because I've been reposting the trailer for like the posts and stuff. And I think it's so cool that like Soderbergh came on and that's somebody that I've always wanted to work with. And I think it's a testament to how good the film is. Um,
Hmm.
and so I'm really proud of that and can't wait for people to see it.
Yeah.
When did he come on? Like as far as like were you aware of that before you took the role, or was this kind of midway, or how did
It
that
was
kind
after,
of?
wasn't it after South by, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like when I saw that, on the press release, I mean, immediately you just take notice. That's one of those names that you can't look past. So
Yeah.
And then the thing with the film like Cold Wallet is that it's in the spirit of the films is sort of uh, that Steven sort of gave the world. Like, I mean, I feel like it's of a similar stock, especially to that of some of his earlier films. And I feel like more and more, like we see fewer of these kinds of films out there. So it's exciting that he came on board and gave it, his sort of stamp of approval because it just gives it a level of visibility that I think it merits, but I think it's going to give it hopefully help expand the audience and help people discover it.
yeah, another one of those films is Fruitvale Station. It's just one of those ones that I will always love. So
Mm.
this was such a blessing to talk to both of you guys because that movie, I remember seeing that in theaters and just
So
being like blown away. I had to
yeah,
mention that as we close.
yeah,
Oh, thanks you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, here at CineDump, we let the doers know how they're doing, and you guys are doing just fine. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the movie and its second and third and fourth and fifth life. You guys are the
yeah.
best. Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse. Take
Thank
care.
you.